Now that we've gone over a couple of the more traditional areas, I wanted to go over something that's very sort of new. I mean, when I say new, it's within the last 20 years, but it's something that a lot of companies have switched to. And that's this idea of the Agile methodology, or the Agile in general. Agile is a way of thinking. It's a sort of a set of principles that you apply. And then we're going to go over a bunch of different models that work with the Agile methodology. Things like Scrum and Kanban and other terms that you might have heard because they are more prevalent in today's industry. The old ones, they weren't bad. It's just that they were slow. We were developing products from point A to point B. So we started and we went straight across and we made it there. Now, sometimes, maybe we deviated up a little bit and we had to come back down and we found our end objective, but that's about all that we could do with the old ones. In today's moving market, things change. Ways of developing technology are changing every single day. And because of this, we need to make sure that we're developing the software that solves the problem. The problem itself might change. And because of this, we have this idea of this Agile sort of manifesto and this set of principles that allow us to be really fluid and flexible in our development process. So that means that we can come up with ideas that make us go in completely different directions, and we'll keep developing with the client until we find exactly what they were looking for. And with the typical model, it would be very hard for us to keep moving this. We'd lose lots of money. But with this, we actually take it in little increments, and we can keep moving at every increment in the right direction. And over time, we begin to develop the correct software. So every decision we make, we slowly get to where the client is happy. We're constantly communicating with them to build their end product. And so the waterfall method, or the waterfall sort of set of ideas, which is sort of everything in the previous example, that set of, we first do design and then, or we first do requirements and then we do design and then we start implementing and then we start testing. That sort of idea where we go one to the next has issues. One of them is during verification, a lot of unexpected issues arise. For example, if we coded a bug into the architecture and we're in the verification before we find that out, there's not really anywhere we can go with that. Or if we get to the verification, we show it to our clients and they say, oh no, that's not exactly what we wanted. There was a little bit of a miscommunication. This is what we wanted. Well, there's no way to go back, and we didn't really have an opportunity to fix that beforehand. With Agile, it has some solutions to that. Software systems are complex and can't be 100% predicted. This is something that's very true, is that if we are hiring someone to create an app, we might not know exactly what we want the app to do. We want to communicate with them over time to slowly build this application, to build it the way that we want, and we want them to help us in finding out what we want in an app, because they're the ones who know how to program. They're the ones who know how to create things. Us as the idea people don't exactly know what we want the app to do and what's capable. So we want to work with someone very smart, a technology company that actually develops apps, to come up with the final idea. And an Agile methodology helps you with that. By the end, some software didn't meet the original or modified requirements. Again, if it's not very flexible, the requirements may have changed over time, and we want to be flexible so that we can change with them. And then markets move over time. The product could be outdated by the time we finish. A lot of the Agile models actually have this idea of coming up with an MVP, or minimal viable product, something that we can get out to the market, within 4 months, something that we can throw out there that has just the basic features but nothing else, and we can actually start getting user feedback and we can start solving the problem. Maybe not 100%, but we're at least solving it a little bit. With the waterfall, it's typically we don't get a product out until it's completely 100% finished. And because of this, we have this really big problem of it might be outdated. Let's say it takes 2 years to develop this software fully. Well, the problem could have already been solved by another company in that time. The problem could have changed over that time. A lot of different things can happen where we could become outdated by the time we finish, and then all that money is wasted. So we want to make sure that we can be flexible in situations where we know the markets are constantly moving. And the Agile Manifesto is sort of this, it's a group of engineers got together and they decided a change was needed. Together they came up with the Agile Manifesto, which we're going to discuss in detail in the next lecture. And it's a set of ideas to develop better, quicker, and more agile software. It's supposed to improve the system overall, and a lot of companies have found that it does just that.